Hi, this is DJ Boomer. Today we're going to talk about the questions that you need to ask a disc jockey that you want to hire for your wedding. A lot of these questions people haven't even thought of, but I know that I've been asked them from time to time, so I thought I would put them all down on the list for you. Number one, what are their prices? How many hours are they going to perform for that price? Is setup, tear down, travel time, is that all included with the price? It's very important that you don't want to have them add extras on later. Are microphones, dance floor lighting, and secondary sound system, or even the wedding ceremony included? A lot of disc jockeys can play the wedding ceremony. They can play the processional or recessional. They can play the parlor music, which is all the violins while people are sitting around. I've had to set up my sound system in a church, break the entire system down, and go and run over and set it up for an event. That's not a problem. We just need to know what it is, and if I have to do two different locations, I usually charge for it, which, understandably so, brides never complain about that. Is any part of their performance pre-recorded or automated? You don't want them to just record the whole show and not be able to take a request. I actually watched a wedding that I was actually at. Somebody asked him to do the electric slide, and he said he couldn't because he had already set all the music. It's about the lamest excuse I've ever heard, but he actually didn't play it for his customer. I don't think he ever got hired again from her or anybody else he recommended. Another quick question is number 4. Are there any hidden charges? Well, we just went over that. Hidden charges for like a wireless microphone. Does he charge for extra hours? Is that included? Very important. Number 5. Does he have liability insurance? Well, liability insurance, very simply put, protects you and protects your wedding. If his sound system stops working and he doesn't have a way to bring it back up, if he breaks down and he's late for your wedding, if he doesn't get to your wedding, if he winds up in the hospital and is unavoidable and can't get to your wedding, insurance covers all that, and it's very important to make sure that he has that insurance. It's very inexpensive for him, but very, very, very important for you. Now, number 6, who is the actual DJ? A lot of companies will have somebody interview you over the phone. They'll have a different disc jockey interview you on your initial consultation, and then some other little DJ will show up. They call them cookie cutter DJs, where one DJ will have 5 or 6 little disciples, as it were, and they're not nearly as good as the original, but he can cover a lot more weddings and he can make a lot more money. So you want to make sure that the person you're talking to is going to be the actual DJ that does your wedding. Number 7, how much DJ experience do they have? How many of these events have they personally performed? Very important. I've probably done over 1,500 weddings in my day, and I'm still doing them every day. Every Saturday, there's always a wedding for me to do somewhere, and I'm booked usually about 6 to 8 months in advance. I have one that goes on next year in May. That's a year away from the date of this recording. It's very important to know that, because I got to tell you, on the first 10 I probably did, I sucked. I mean, I knew I sucked. The customer didn't seem to see it, but I would make little mistakes that I would know better. And later on, I look back at some of those experiences and I think, man, did I screw that up? But the bride and groom, I did a whole wedding where one whole speaker went out and I didn't even know it till the end. Yeah, but I call myself a professional. I've since learned over the years how to make everything work. So obviously it's important that the DJ have a lot of experience. Number 8, does the DJ have any business experience? And how long have they even been in business? A lot of disc jockeys are what we call closet disc jockeys. They just start off because they know how to beat mix or spin some records, and they have their little home systems and they think, yeah, I can be a DJ. It's not that hard. Well, it's a business like any other business. How would you like to go into an office building and have the guy who you trust with selling your house not even know what he's doing? Well, you're trusting a man with supposed to be the most important day of your life. He may suck. He may be great. But that's very important, and very important that you ask those questions. Number 9, in what city do they live, and where is their office located? Where will you be coming from should be your next question. Because if he's coming from 30 miles away, there could be traffic jams. There could be just about anything that could stop you from making it to your wedding. You want to know what the weddings he's done in the circle of the area. In other words, has he done most of them up in New York and he's living in Florida? You know, I mean, you have to know these things and you have to ask these specific questions. Now, how is the DJ for playing any type of referral fee, percentage, or compensation for your recommendations? In other words, very simply put, does the DJ going to pay for referrals? In other words, the referrals that he sees on his website that you see when you go to look, did he pay for them? Or did he actually perform these weddings and didn't have to coax anybody to give the actual answer? Chances, well, nobody would put on their website people that didn't like what they did. Of course, they're only going to put their best foot forward. But find out, get a list of some of these people so that you can call them. Also a good idea. Now, number 11. Does the DJ have backup equipment in case of an equipment failure? I carry 2 laptops with me. I do have a sound technician that comes with me on every wedding. He sets up the equipment. He's got a truck full. So should I run into a problem, he's got it there immediately. I mean, there probably is a 5-minute downtime while you run and get the piece of equipment, but that's about it. I even plug my iPod in just to keep things going. So I've actually had a system go down, and all I had was my cell phone. I actually used my cell phone to keep the wedding going while we switched computers. Excuse me. Number 11. Does the DJ coordinate the entire event for you, if you want him to? Me, I tell the brides right away. I say I control, if it's a buffet rather, I actually control the buffet by playing a game to see who eats first. Obviously the bride and groom and the bridal party eat first, but instead of having a bum rush to run up there, I have little tricks that I can do and little skits that I can do to get them excited, and then they actually compete to eat. Another thing is, it's very important because if they don't coordinate with the photographer, they may be doing a bouquet toss and the photographer's taking a picture of somebody eating a piece of cake, for instance. So as a rule, I coordinate the wedding. I set that up with the bride ahead of time, and I always make sure the photographer is there for that special shot, because once he doesn't get it, you can't really relive a garter toss all over again. And once he's finished, I know a bride that complained to me about a wedding that somebody else did, that she didn't even have a picture with her mother. Excuse me, but that's situations where the DJ didn't take control, because if he's not paying attention to the room, he can actually completely mess up your wedding. Now, number 13. What does the DJ make for service? What makes his service unique from everybody else's? For instance, if you've done it as many times as I have, we do different tricks. I do different, if it's an afternoon wedding and the wedding's not going good, I can come up with, I play the not so newlywed game, gets everybody excited, and then the wedding gets off to a great start. If the lighting is bright, people don't dance. So you better have something else to do, because you don't want to just sit there and you wouldn't want the DJ to just stand there and do nothing, because you could get your cousin Vinny to do that with his little home sound system. You hired a professional. He should be professional. Number 14. Does he have a professional education in the entertainment arts, or has he been a member, participated in any professional organization or association? I'm a member of the Disc Jockey Association of America, also known as ADA. A lot of us, the professionals anyway, are members of a few. Of course, on Facebook, I'm there for quite a few people, but I'm always there to give advice. And I like to give advice to young DJs who are looking for a leg up. I helped a retired police officer. He wanted to become a disc jockey. Now he's one of our area's better DJs. Does the DJ have a wide variety of music and entertainment experience to draw from? For instance, if he looks at the room and he notices that it's not as peppy as it should be, what can he do? Can he change gears? If he plays country and nobody moves, but yet he plays traditional big band music and he packs the floor, well, what do you think he should do? Some people will say, well, no, he should play what he likes. No. Does he play what the bride likes? Well, sort of. But he plays what the crowd likes. That's what you're hiring him for. You're hiring him to entertain your guests. Does he have any skills? Is he able to make clear announcements and direct announcements? Some disc jockeys, and I hate to say this because it's my own business, but they're afraid of the microphone. You point a mic at them and they look at you and go, "I got to talk?" Well, yeah, it's part of the gig. You have to be able to talk, and you have to be very good at it. Your diction must be clear and precise. When you're making announcements, they can't go, "Well, what did he say?" You don't want that to happen. You want to have somebody, and if they're sitting there talking to you and they sound like an idiot, they DJ like an idiot. So you want to make sure that you get that out perfectly clear. Do they ever overbook their performances? I know DJs that'll book 2 weddings at the same time just because, and then later on they'll pick the one that they want. Well, that kind of screws you. So you want to make sure that you're hiring the DJ you're talking to, and there's only one gig that he can possibly do that day, and that's you. I would never hire a DJ that says, "Oh, I've got you and then I've got another wedding in 3 hours." Well, then he's just a machine. He's not going to care. I do 1 wedding a week. I do it on Saturday. If they should have a weekday wedding, I give them a discount, and I will perform that wedding because it doesn't cut into anything. But I always make sure that when I do a wedding on Saturday, I'm there for the bride. Now, do they have a drink or alcohol with their performance? That's up to you, so you have to make that perfectly clear. Some brides don't mind giving the DJ a few drinks. I would tell you don't do it, because if you think that they can do it while they're liquored up, that means that they suck to begin with and they just need a little liquid courage. I don't drink at all. So, I mean, I'm a little overweight, so when they ask me would I like something to eat, well, I say sure. Another thing that you might want to do, and this is very important, if you're going to offer them food to eat, don't push them in a corner and give them a bologna sandwich. I don't know how many weddings I've sat with the videographer or the photographer, and we're sitting in a back room trying to throw down our food. Well, you want us to be part of the guest experience because we're part of the party. Some of the most important parts of the party are the disc jockey and the videographer. So why would you want to push us into a separate room? We might miss a shot. Maybe I see that the room needs a little boost, and I'll just walk away from my food and I'll go take care of it. And I tell this to all the brides, don't put us in a back room. Leave us all out there, even if you have a table for us. Just make sure that we stay in the room. It's very important. Now, number 19, do they have a list of equipment that you can take a look at? Most brides or grooms wouldn't know the equipment if it hit them, because what you use at home is different than what we use as a profession. So ask for a list, and then you can always ask another professional. You can ask me. You know, drop me an email at djboomerusa@yahoo.com and ask me, is this good stuff? Is this terrible stuff? Does he really know what he's doing? I can tell you in 5 minutes, because I may not be able to come all the way to California where you might be, even though I've worked in California, and I don't think you can afford for me to fly across the United States just to DJ your wedding. If you can, I'll be there for you. I've worked for many, many stars. And last but not least, this is number 20. Why do other DJs say that they have thousands and hundreds of thousands of songs compared to what you offer? Well, the truth of the matter is, they can't have that many. Because if you think about it, an average track costs $1. So if they have 100,000 songs, do you really think they invested $100,000 in music to be DJing in your little town? Well, if you just do the math, you know that's a lie. If they're downloading it illegally off the web, well, that's their headache, because the government is cracking down on it, and they're not going to have their system very much longer. I own all my music, and I own every song that I play. Most weddings, believe it or not, all play the same music. Somebody always wants to twist. They always want the electric slide. They always want the cha-cha slide. There's a whole bunch, but there's only, let's say, if you figure out every song is 4 minutes long, that's all, and you times that by 4 hours, you have a good time. And here's a question that you should ask yourself. The last time you were at a wedding, can you remember what the bride wore? Probably not. Can you remember what the cake looked like? Also, probably not.